Welcome to the virtual public open house for the Dayfoot Street Urbanization Project. This video presentation has been pre-recorded and will be available for viewing along with additional project information on the Town of New Tecumseh's website until Monday, March 14th, 2022. Please note that you may need to adjust your volume settings for this recording. The town is completing the design for the urbanization and reconstruction of Dayfoot Street and on select side streets in the neighborhood. This public information center will present the plans for the proposed upgrades to existing infrastructure for the first and second phase of construction on Dayfoot Street and English Drive. The design has been substantially completed for phases 3 and 4. However, since they have no timeline for construction, they will be discussed at a future public meeting. A platform to solicit comments from the public will be provided at the end of the presentation along with the commenting period. R.J. Burnside and Associates Limited were retained by the town to complete the detailed design. This presentation will include the following topics. The site map will show the proposed phasing limits to complete the project along Dayfoot Street and adjacent side streets over the next few years. The background information will describe the need for the upgrades. This presentation will focus on phases 1 and 2. Existing infrastructure. This slide describes the characteristics of the existing road, sewers, and water main infrastructure. Preliminary design activities. Various preliminary planning and design activities were carried out, including field investigation, background research, and reviewing options for improving the existing infrastructure. Detailed design activities. This process ensures that the overall design solutions satisfy the project objectives, meet industry and latest municipal standards, minimizes impact to the environment, and is cost-effective. Design upgrades. The specific improvement and changes within the road corridor will be shown in more detail. Construction staging. Managing access to abutting properties and emergency services is a critical part of ensuring the job gets done efficiently and safely while minimizing disruption to the neighborhood. Next steps. This slide will highlight the anticipated timelines for completing the project and outline the opportunities for providing feedback. Project contacts. Project contact information for the town and the engineer will be provided for the following up questions. The Beaton Master Servicing Plan identified various key upgrades along Dayfoot Street and English Drive in support of the developmental growth, including stormwater management, water and wastewater servicing, and reconstruction of the road to an urbanized cross-section. The work is also in keeping with the recommendations in the Town's Development Charges Background Study, the Water Master Plan, and the Multimodal Active Transport Master Plan. The project is being funded primarily by development charges with a small benefit to existing component. The timing of the tender and construction schedule for Phase 1 is developer driven. This map shows the project divided into 4 phases. The phasing limits are based on a full construction season and could be subjected to change. Phase 1 will include the reconstruction of Dayfoot Street from Lily Street to Danielle Gate, and English Drive from Dayfoot Street to the Henry Street Drain Crossing, east of Center Street. Timing for construction of Phase 1 is anticipated for fall 2022.
The existing sanitary sewer on Dayfoot Street was constructed in 1972 and is in fair condition. However, the existing sewer is not sized adequately to accept the flows that will be generated from the new upstream developments, and as such will be replaced, including sanitary services to property line. The sanitary sewer on English Drive will not be replaced. However, existing services will also be upgraded to property line. The existing water mains on Dayfoot Street and English Drive are older and undersized for the area. They are also not designed to accommodate the new developments and general infill. There are also some operational issues for operations staff with isolation of the water mains during routine maintenance activities. The existing storm drainage system consists of a combination of storm sewers, roadside ditches, and road crossing culverts and driveway culverts. There are operational issues with the existing system, including nuisance ponding during rain events, as it is undersized for the catchment area. Invasive phragmites are also present in the ditches. These deficiencies will be corrected with the urbanization of the corridors. Dayfoot Street is a local, rural road cross-section with roadside ditches and no sidewalks. There are underlying deficiencies with the pavement structure evidenced by the various settlements, patches, failures, and cracking in the roadway. English Drive is a local semi-urban road cross-section with a combination of curb and gutter and roadside ditches and sidewalk only along the south side from Center Street easterly. On-street parking is permitted along the east side of Dayfoot Street only. The road is not practically wide enough to accommodate 2 through lanes and parking as currently exists. Existing sidewalks on English Drive do not meet AODA requirements for accessibility. AODA stands for the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act and was created by the Ontario government with the goal of removing barriers for activities and opportunities for disabled individuals. The existing street lighting does not meet current requirements for illumination. Preliminary design is important in the planning process. As part of this stage, several activities were carried out to obtain and collect existing information. The engineering survey was completed by taking measurements with specialized equipment, which is used to prepare a plan that includes existing features along the street such as sidewalks, utility poles, and property lines. Geotechnical investigations were required to identify the existing soil conditions and groundwater levels. The information is valuable for both designers and contractors. Background review was completed of any available studies, reports, and existing engineering drawings showing locations of sewers, water mains, and utilities, for example. Tree inventory was completed by an arborist. Some trees are marked for removal to accommodate the proposed work, and others have been identified to be in poor to fair condition within proximity to the work. More detail is provided in this presentation. Subsurface utility engineering investigation involves an in-depth review of buried and above-ground utilities. So as designers, we can identify any conflicts with the proposed designs. This helps us to be proactive to utility relocation work and upgrades and helps mitigate any known risks during construction. The utility relocations have been substantially completed, and any new conflicts requiring relocation will be moved prior to the start of construction. New area developments. Burnside worked closely with the designers of the adjacent developments to ensure any servicing requirements were incorporated into the Dayfoot Street design. Engineering design stage. The design team will ensure that any feedback from the public, approval agencies, utilities, and municipal staff is reviewed and considered and incorporated where possible and practical. Burnside is currently writing the technical specifications and preparing a contract for construction contractor bidding purposes. Permits and approvals. Permit approval from the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks for the proposed sanitary and storm sewers, and a permit from the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority, which regulates activities in or adjacent to a lake, river, stream, or wetland, is required prior to the start of construction. The contractor will be required to obtain a road occupancy permit from the town prior to starting any construction-related activities within the municipality's right-of-way. Utility relocations. Utility conflicts with the final design have already been identified and relocated. All utilities are being reconfirmed, and any new conflicts will be moved prior to construction. The design for this project is complex, and this slide shows an example of a section along Dayfoot Street. Colors are used to highlight the locations of the new infrastructure. The new curb and gutter is shown with orange lines and defines the road alignment. The new sidewalk along the west side of the street is yellow, and the boulevard area between the sidewalk and the road will be sodded and includes new street lights. The boulevard along the east side of the road will provide an opportunity for new tree planting. The sanitary sewer in red runs along the center line of the road. The water main is in blue, shown on the east side of the road within the boulevard. Hydrants will be installed adjacent to the water main at regular intervals. The storm sewer is shown in green and will collect the surface water that drains into the catch basins. All private water and sanitary and storm sewer services will be replaced and reconnected to property line at each residence. The new sanitary sewer will be larger and sized appropriately for existing and future conditions. Sanitary service connections to residential properties will be replaced to property line and realigned where possible to mitigate tree or root disruption. The water main servicing the homes will be upsized to satisfy existing and future demands of the proposed developments and accommodate the Tottenham transmission main flows. A temporary water supply system may be required to service residential properties during construction, which will require short periods of water interruption to the residents for the installation. New hydrants have been designed to be spaced more frequently. Private water services will be upgraded from the property line to the new water mains. Short periods of water disruptions will be required during connections to the new water main. The streets have been designed to urban standards with concrete curb and gutter and a stronger and more durable pavement structure to accommodate future traffic volumes. Dayfoot Street has been made wider, but the design considers reducing the impacts to trees and utilities. A new sidewalk will be installed along the west side of Dayfoot Street between Lily Street and Daniel Gate, then moves to the east side from Daniel Gate to Main Street. Once all works are complete, it will provide a continuous link to the existing sidewalks along Main Street and Lily Street. Shared bike lanes have been included along Dayfoot Street in keeping with the recommendations of the town's multimodal active transportation master plan. Hydro, utility pole, and other utility conflicts have been identified and relocations have already been completed. The new street lighting will be located along the west side of the street. The design will meet the uniformity ratios and glare control requirements to provide more consistent distribution of illumination along the corridor. The new catch basins and storm sewers are designed to collect surface water that will outlet to the Hendry Street drain on English Street. Placement of the surface layer of asphalt will be deferred for at least 1 year, which is a typical practice to allow for any construction-related settlements to occur or for other phases to be constructed. The proposed road cross-section for Dayfoot Street will consist of the following features: concrete curb and gutter with storm catch basins, a 1.5 meter wide concrete sidewalk, including tactile walking surface indicator plates at intersection ramps, and both improvements are AODA compliant. The tactile plates are intended to be detectable underfoot and used to alert people with low or no vision of potential hazards, such as traffic. Wide, sodded boulevards. The existing road corridor is too narrow to accommodate both on-street parking and active transportation such as bikes. As a result, the town will be proposing a bylaw to restrict parking along Dayfoot Street and allow the space within a lane to be shared for vehicle and bicycle traffic side by side. A bicycle sharrow, 2 chevrons painted above a bicycle symbol, will be painted along the road adjacent to the curb and gutter. By doing this, the road will appear narrower to a motorist and encourage lower traffic speeds, which will introduce a permanent traffic calming feature. While the work is substantially contained to the town's right-of-way, any grading required on private property will be coordinated with the owner in advance. Restoration of the boulevards and driveways will be coordinated upon completion of the underground infrastructure and roadworks. A new sidewalk will be installed along the south side of English Drive from Dayfoot Street to Center Streets to provide a continuous sidewalk link along all of English Drive. The sidewalk will be installed directly adjacent to the curb to minimize the impact to vegetation, trees, and driveways. Working around the larger trees may require asphalt sidewalk sections which can be installed with less digging than installing concrete sidewalk. The new street lighting will be located along the south side of the street. New catch basins and storm sewers are designed to collect surface water that will outlet to the Hendry Street drain on English Street. The proposed road cross-section for English Drive will consist of the following features: concrete curb and gutter. A new concrete sidewalk along the south side of the street will be installed, including tactile walking surface indicator plates at intersection ramps. The sidewalk will be a minimum of 1.5 meters wide, or even wider if field conditions allow. The sidewalk will be installed directly adjacent to the curb to minimize the impact of vegetation, trees, and driveways. Working around the larger trees may require asphalt sidewalk sections, which can be installed with less digging than installing concrete sidewalk. Restoration of the boulevards and driveways will be coordinated upon completion of the underground infrastructure and roadworks.
Tree inventory and preservation plans were completed for the proposed infrastructure improvements. A review of the trees within and immediately adjacent to the proposed construction impacts was required to identify impacts to trees that may result from the construction activities. All trees have been assessed, and those identified for removal to accommodate the upgrades within the corridor are shown in brown color in this sample slide. All other existing trees are recommended for preservation. Tree protection fencing will be installed to reduce impacts from construction equipment and other activities. A copy of the complete arborist report plans are included for viewing with this project file. In keeping with the Migratory Bird Convention Act, timing constraints will be applicable for removal of any trees during the breeding bird period from April 1st to August 31st for most species. The timing of construction will be developer-driven, and Phase 1 may commence as early as fall 2022. Additional notice will be provided once timing and a contractor are confirmed. During construction, the roads will be closed to through traffic. Local access will be coordinated with personnel on site to ensure any closures and driveway disruptions are minimized and to ensure alternate parking arrangements are made. Emergency access to the properties will be coordinated by the contractor and will always be available. It is expected that the intersections will be closed while the work is taking place to ensure both safety of the workers and the public. It is anticipated that only the intersection location will be permitted to be closed at any one time. The contractor will be required to update emergency services of any work that may compromise safe and clear access at or around each location and provide detouring plans.
Work will be contained to the right-of-way. If work on the private side is required, advance notification will be given to the property owner for permission. Note that select properties may have driveways or lawns restored beyond the property line where the road elevation has changed to meet town standard grades. Landscaping will be completed once the underground infrastructure and road is completed. The contractor will be required to pave the base course asphalt layer following the new curb and gutter installation. The top course asphalt placement will be deferred for 1 year to allow for any minor settlements that may occur from the underground installations. The town is now looking forward to the following milestones to complete Phase 1 for the project. Public comment period particulars are provided on the next slide. The town and Burnside will review any comments received during this public participation process, along with those obtained from approval agencies, and incorporate any changes to the plans and construction contract as required and deemed appropriate. As we noted earlier in the presentation, Phase 1 of the project is scheduled to commence construction as early as fall 2022, and the town will provide further notice to residents once the timing is confirmed.
The town's website includes a webpage for the Dayfoot Street project, and this includes the pre-recorded video, design drawings, additional project information, and a comment sheet that residents can complete and email to the project team contacts. A hard copy of the comment sheet was included in the notice to the properties within the project limits. The webpage will be live for the period of Monday, February 28, 2022 to Monday, March 14, 2022. The project team will be available on Wednesday, March 4th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for residents to book appointments via telephone with a member of the project team to help address any additional questions or comments. Appointments will be held to 10 minutes.
Here are some frequently asked questions about construction. Will I still have access to my driveway?
Yes, the contractor will notify you of any temporary restrictions to your driveway and will have alternative parking arrangements available.
Will my garbage and recycling still be picked up?
Yes, please follow your normal waste schedule. If required, the contractor will move and return bins to an appropriate location. Please label your bins.
Will my house be inspected prior to construction?
The town contractor will survey all properties within the construction area prior to construction. The inspection will look at both the interior and exterior of all properties to verify the existing condition. Participation is voluntary.
I have private infrastructure on the town's property.
Property owners should remove items located within the town's property to avoid damage during construction, i.e. sprinklers, private landscape features, heated driveways.
Will I have to pay for any upgrades as part of this construction?
No. Any areas that have been disturbed or replaced as part of the construction will be included in the contractor's project costs. Project team members for follow-up information are provided on this slide. We ask that any questions be submitted by March 14, 2022, and we thank you for your interest in this project.